Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Anna. Let's create something different. Let's use Lady E Design Tiny Leaves die cut, and I will share with you a couple of tricks how you can create a beautiful background and then use this die to cut them and use it on your project. I will be working with ordinary cardstock. I believe it's 150 GSM, and I will be playing with two Distress Oxide inks. I will have Lucky Clover and Twisted Citron. So I'm just dabbing inks onto my glass craft mat. It's a Tonic Studio craft mat, what I really like to work on. Now I'll spray a bit of the water over my areas where the ink is, and I will dab my paper into it. Nothing complicated. I think it's very simple, very achievable. Look at these beautiful colors, what it's creating on my paper. It's nicely blending. It's creating lovely layers of blended colors. Now I'm drying a little bit each layer, and then I'll go back and repeat the same process, so I will have two layers on this piece of paper. Once I'm happy with the layered colors on my paper, I'm moving on and playing around on the next piece of paper. Next piece of paper will have lighter shades of green and this citron. It's because my ink it's already blended together quite well with water, so obviously the shade's gonna be lighter, but it's still nice colors what I'm achieving on my paper. Now I will do a few splatters on my papers just to create extra interest onto it. So I'm just going with Lucky Clover ink. I'm spraying a little bit of water, and with a small brush I'm just making a small splatters. So I'm repeating process on both sheets of paper, so it is something what you can skip if you don't want to do it, or you can carry on and work the same way as I am. So now I can dry my papers a little bit, and I will be moving on to the next paper what I will be working on. Obviously when your paper is wet they intend to curl a little bit, but you can always put them in between of layers of two heavy books and they will straight back on. Nothing is wasted, of course. I have this leftover ink there, so I'm just using a brayer and I'm braying that onto my piece of paper, and I'm just going over and over until I will actually pick up all the ink from my craft mat. That is creating a very subtle, very delicate look, and you will see in a minute in a close-up what I will actually show you once I'm finishing playing with my brayer. Now I'm going with Twisted Citron. Just a tiny amount will do the trick. Obviously spraying with a bit of water and brayering onto my piece of paper. Here we go. That's what I achieved with brayering inks onto my paper. I really like this effect. So now I'm drying my paper, because obviously it's quite wet when I brayed the inks into the paper. So make sure the paper is fairly dry before you take it to the next level, what I will share with you in just 1 second. So now I have this written stamp from my BoBunny. I will be using wool embossing powder with wool embossing pad to create a little texture on my project. I really like this stamp, and I'm using quite often. You can also use different stamp, whatever you have on your stash. For example, tiny circles will do a nice job, or you can stick to the same pattern what I'm creating using this script stamp. Okay, now I'm stamping one way upside down. The reason I'm using the one way, I'm stamping one way upside down, because when I will put my die cut over it, I would like the embossed area to be actually visible in the way how you actually read in the book. I don't want them to be upside down. That's the purpose I'm stamping one way upside down. You will see that in a minute when the embossing powder is dry. So I'm just dabbing excess of my paper and I'm embossing. I'm embossing from the bottom of the paper. The reason I'm doing that, because that allows my embossing powder to melt slightly before I will go at the top of my paper. So my embossing powder basically will stay in the places and the areas where I want it to be. It will not fly off through the process of embossing it, because when you start embossing it with your embossing tool right away from the top, some of the elements will actually flow off through the pressure you're giving on your paper. So that's the way I like to work with embossing powders. So here we go, this is what I have. So as you can see, one stamp area is the proper way, one stamp area is upside down. So now I will use my Big Shot die cut and Lady E, this tiny leaf die, and will go through my machine. And once I've cut everything out, I'll come back to you and show you what I've achieved. So here we are. This is my leaves, what I've achieved using this beautiful die. I will show you close up. I'm not sure if camera is picking up them quite well. It's quite bright in my room at this point, but I'm trying my best to show you how they actually look. So this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this process. I hope you find it inspirational, and if so, please leave me a comment and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials to come. So till the next time, my dear friends, talk to you super soon. Bye for now.